All right, so in 11.3, we talked about the surface area of the pyramid and the cone. Okay, surface area of the pyramid is B plus 1/2 perimeter times the slant height. So B is the area of the base. We focused just on square pyramids, and then we obviously talked about cylinders. But there are other types of pyramids. We just will only talk about the square ones for now. So in this example, you've got a square pyramid. It says what's the surface area with base edges of 8 and a slant height of 12. So the slant height's already given to you. So slant height is the L. The area of the base would be 8 times 8, or 64. And the perimeter of the base, there's 4 sides that are 8, so it'd be 4 times 8, which is 32. So then the surface area would be B plus 1/2 PL, or 64 plus 1/2 perimeter, which is 32, times the slant height, which is 12. So if I wanted to type that in the calculator, I make that 1/2 0.5. And then you can actually type that all. If you've got a graphing calculator or one that has multiple steps, you can actually type that all in together. If you don't, if you need to go step by step, then I would do 0.5 times 32 times 12. And that's 192. And then add that 192 to 64. And I get 256. So this would be 256 centimeters squared. Questions on that one? Okay, second one says, what's the lateral area of a pyramid with a height of 8 and the square base that measures 9 inches on each side, round to the nearest tenth? So this time, it wants you to find lateral area. Lateral area is just the 1/2 perimeter times the slant height. So if you look at this, you can get the perimeter. The perimeter would be 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9, or 9 times 4, which is 36. But what you're not given this time is the slant height. You're given the actual height, which is 8. So I need to find slant height. So this would be L. The bottom of that triangle would be half the 9, or 4.5. And then the vertical part's the other leg, which is 8. Which means if I wanted to find slant height, I would do 4.5 squared plus 8 squared equals the slant height squared. And then again, let the calculator do the work. So 4.5 squared is 20.25 plus 64. And that's 84.25. That's equals L squared. So the square root of that is 9.2, 9.17, which is 9.2. So that's going to be your slant height. So then I'd get lateral area is 1/2, or 0.5 perimeter times 36 times the slant height, which is 9.2. So 0.5 times 36 times 9.2 is 165.6 inches squared. Good morning, Andrew. Good morning, Izzy. We're on the warm-up. That was question 2. Questions on that one? So make sure you're identifying the difference between lateral area and surface area, and make sure you're identifying the difference between regular height and slant height. Okay, number 3, now we switch to cones, which hopefully are a little bit easier because you don't have to worry about what type of base they are. The lateral area of a cone, so for a cone we've got 2. Lateral area is pi r L, and total area, or surface area, is pi r squared plus pi r L, or pi r squared plus the lateral area if you already found it. So in this example, it says what's the lateral area of the cone in terms of pi. So I need lateral area. I need pi r L. 5 is my radius. 12 is the height. So I still need slant height. So I would do 5 squared plus 12 squared equals the slant height squared. Or if you've memorized your triples, one is 5, 12, 13, which means the slant height's 13. So then my lateral area is just pi times the radius is 5 times the slant height is 13, and I get 65 pi meters squared. So if you didn't have your triples memorized and you don't want to, like, if you want to write them on the note, we can definitely add them on Monday. But you would just work this out, like 25 plus 144 equals L squared, and that's 169. And then when you square root it, you get 13. So either way, you should be able to get to that 13. You just got to make sure you know the difference between, are they giving you height or are they giving you slant height? Questions on that one? Okay, and number 4 says, what's the total area of the ice cream cone shown below? So I'm doing total area, which means pi r squared plus pi r L. This time they gave me 6 is the whole diameter. So this is the diameter, which means the radius is 3. And they gave me the slant height, so I'm good to go. I don't need to use the Pythagorean theorem. So I've got pi r, which is 3 squared, plus pi times 3 times the slant height, which is 12. This becomes, I'm going to push the pi to the back of each one. So this becomes 9 pi plus 36 pi. And then because they both have pi, this becomes 45 pi centimeters squared. All right, questions for me on the warm-up. That covers pyramids and cones. So now we've done everything you're going to do for your test, which is 10.6 was the circumference and the arc length, 10.7, which was area and area of a sector, 11.2, which was prism and cylinder, and 11.3, which is cone and pyramid. So those are technically the 8 things that will be on your test because there's 2 in each section. But again, we'll build our reference sheet on Monday so you can use that for the test. Okay, so the that was due this morning was 11.3. There's 9, 10, or 9, 11, 12, and 14. Remember to pay attention to what kind of area it's asking for, because 9 and 11 were asking for the surface area, and 12 and 14 were asking for the lateral area. So surface area for number 9 was 408. Surface area for number 11 was 192, which rounded to 179.2, which rounded to 179, because it asks you to use the whole number. Antonio, I'll go back in just a minute. 12 was 204. And 14 was 50. Questions on any of those? Okay, 16 is 333 pi. Now this time it went the other order. It went lateral area on the left and surface area on the right. So lateral area is 333 pi, and if you have pi and you want to get rid of it, you got to multiply by it. So it'd be 1,046. Number 18 is 15 pi, and if you multiply that out, 15 times pi, it would have been 47. Without the pi, because it would have been 47.1, which is 47. 20 is 33 pi, and 21, 119 pi. questions on any of those? All right, so let me go back. Antonio, you wanted to go